Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to talk about one of the hands-on lab. Will explain in details. So how build an LLM and RAG based chart application with AlloyDB and Vertex AI. The high level architecture, let me show you. This is one of the high level architecture. The user application LLM based app which will be interact in LLM model in which it will be set up in the Vertex AI inside the VPC GCP VPC. The container based application retrieval service will be deployed in Cloud Run, and then Cloud Run application will connect with AlloyDB for the vector embedding or vector search support. Right. So in this lab, what all are you are going to learn how RAG enhance LLM capability by retrieving relevant information from a knowledge base. How AlloyDB can be used to find the relevant information using the semantic search. How you can use Vertex AI and Google Foundation model to provide powerful generative AI capability to applications. So let's go ahead and start the configuration. Then in the lastly I'll show you the how we are using chat application the help of all these configuration. So let me quickly open the console. This is the lab login process. This is the mandatory process. If you don't know, you just follow the process to start the lab. Then how will login and step by step process will follow. So what we'll have to do here, first I'll check the what pre-configuration happened. So one VM which is already set up for this lab, and other than that the AlloyDB. Let me check the AlloyDB. As you can see, AlloyDB already set up for me for this particular lab. Right, so okay, so here AlloyDB Studio system insights. Okay, we can see over here, but let me keep this the AlloyDB console. So then what I'll do, let me open one more tab and select the compute engine which our app VM we have to set up, right? So how I will log in to this particular VM? There is direct you can click on SSH. You can also able to log in. Otherwise through this CLI command, how we can log in, let me show you. So based on this initialize the database environment, first of all you have to log in, and this is the command gcloud compute ssh app VM. This is the VM name and which zone on this VM. So let me click on authorize. Do you want to continue? Yes, I want to continue. Three times press enter, then you will able to log in the VM. Now I am inside the app VM, right? So the next process I'll have to install the Postgres client to connect the AlloyDB. So this is one of the steps need to follow. So this is the command to install the Postgres client to establish the connection between AlloyDB to this client VM. Now all that is done. Now to create required variable, so Postgres user, password, project, ID, region, and then cluster, and then the AlloyDB cluster instance name. So all that variable I have to set. Right, let me increase the font size. Large. Let me set font size large. Okay, I hope it is visible. Okay, so this is the environment variable. It will be helped later. Just I set the environment variable for our betterment to perform all. Then to connect to AlloyDB instance. So our AlloyDB instance is already created. So I just want to create the connect to the AlloyDB. Right. So this is the users Postgres, and let me connect through the client VM. So the command ps equal host equal to the variable which we have defined, the user pg user, the variable which we have defined, the SSL mode require. So if I want to click on enter, so I can able to log into PostgreSQL, which is in AlloyDB, right? So now let me go to the next steps. Okay, so now we'll exit from the SQL server. So what's the command? /q to exit from the SQL server. You can remember also, once exit, let me create a vector database. So created database. So how I can able to create? So through the client VM, if I enter this, this is the password, I just, and then host name, user, create database, assistant demo. So let me quickly create a database. So database created. So you can see here, if you will refresh this browser, and then the cluster, the primary, okay, cluster, and this is my cluster. So let me go to users, AlloyDB the overview. Here is the Postgres. Okay, so as we can see, the create database inside the AlloyDB Postgres. Now let me quickly enable the vector embedding this database, run the following command. This is one of the important command: psql host instance name, user pg user, db name assistant demo, and create extension vector. So create extension and let me verify. Enable the pg vector extension is enabled or not. So if it is enabled, it will be green check mark. Now what we'll do, we'll install the Python in the client VM to perform all the tasks. So sudo apt install python 3 and python install upgrade pip, and the source bin activate. This is the virtual directory. All will be set for me and install. Once this is done, what we'll do, we'll go to the next steps. So my virtual environment of Python installation all set is completed. Now let me check which version install. Python 3.11.2, the version which installed the client VM. Populate the example database. So what we'll do, we'll clone the code. So here let me clone the code which is already available in public repo. I'll also mention in the URL which I will mention in the description. So let me quickly check the details. File is uploaded, genai database retrieval app. This is the folder which I downloaded from the open source GitHub, and all this code is over here already, so we'll perform, right? So now we'll go to this genai database app and then we'll check the code. There is two ways to check the code. We can use cat command, or directly what we'll do, open the editor. Here also we can check. We cannot check here because we have already logged into the client VM, so that's why we are not able to see. If it's a cloud shell, if it would have a cloud shell, then we can able to see like a Visual Studio code, so we can able to view that. So now we are in genai database retrieval app folder. The next step, to see the example of airport data and run the following command. Let me execute this command here and say the San Francisco International Airport, San Francisco, United States. Couple of information I can see. Similarly, to see example of airport data, we can see the example of flight data. Run the following command here. This is the data, and similarly to see the example of amenities data, let me, this is the information of all data. So now let me create a database configuration file. Run the following command. So the configuration file, let me explain here. So this is the variable which we have defined. Then go to the retrieval service and this copy the example config UIML and config YML file to change all these parameter in the config.yml file, which is in the in our client config file. So that config file, let me check whether my config file is created or not. As you can see, there is no config file. So now let me create a config file. So as I had checked earlier before executing the command, there was no such file. Now you can see the file created, config file, right? So here the config.yml file, you can see this file created now, and we can check config. In the config.yml file, these are the parameter which we have defined. That is very important. So next step, to install the requirement.txt and run the database initialization. I mean, we have to here the requirement.txt file and the initialize the db. This is the two important file is required now. So let me install the requirement.txt file and run the database initialize. Once database install the requirement.txt file, so in requirement.txt file, what all are installed will be installed. Let me show you. Here, if I back to one step, as you can see, the model and the here the requirement.txt file. These are the library will install, being installing, right? So now still the installation is going on. Now all done, and also database also initialized, right? So now let me go to check the progress. So green check mark means all set, all done. So to perform all this activity, you have to create a service account. So let me create a service account here. Let me open one more editor. Here I want to create a service account and providing the role AI platform user, and just to see whether my service account is created or not. Yes, retrieval identity service account created. Now let me check the progress. Now what we will do, deploy the retrieval service to Cloud Run. So this is very important. This service let me show you the service. Retrieval service dot, all these file. Okay, so retrieval service. Okay, let me put the command. As you can see, first export the region, which region it will be deploy the cloud run, then deploy the cloud retrieval service source. This is the retrieval service. This is the folder name, and no allow unauthenticated service account which we had created, that we are taking here, and region we are mentioned already. We have defined the action variable. Network for now we are taking default. Good. All this is the service which will be deployed into our cloud run service. So let me hit to enter. So cloud run, couple of service is going on the backend, that I want to show you also. Here if I will go to one more service tab, here if I click on cloud build, cloud build, we can see the deployment process here. As you can see, the deployment is going on, and where we are going to deploy, that also I want to show you. No one tell you about these things, the hidden story, but I want to show you. And the cloud run, let me open the cloud run. As you can see, the loading the content. Once deployment done, so it will be populated over here. And similarly, let me go to the Vertex AI. Done, retrieval service, revision pending. All this thing is still is in under process. Completed the creation, revision, routing, traffic completed, all completed now. Okay, retrieval service deployment is done right now. Now just to confirm, call -h authentication, print identity token, run service list. This command will confirm me the URL. Okay, this is the verify the service, whether the service this is called the service URL. As you can see, this is teachable, but the service let me come to the service URL. Revision, and this is the service. Now let me quickly open one more tab and here go to API and services, then click on auth consent screen. What we'll do here, we'll click on user type internal, only available to user within your organization, will not need to submit your app for the verification. Only available to user within your organization. Click on create and put that name of the app name. Let me put that name, and the mail ID which we are using currently, and then app domain. Suppose app domain, click on app domain. App domain will put cloud shell dev. App domain. Okay, click app domain and then so click app domain and then just click on save and continue. Email address you just copy from here, and based on your requirement you also put here. Save and continue. Then save and continue username. Save and continue one more time. Done. So now it's done. Now create a client ID for the application. So let me quickly create the client ID for application. How we'll do that? With the same process, you'll click on, you'll go to API and service and navigate to the credential. Then click create credential and then select the auth client ID. Then put the web application and then click on add URI. Click add URI. Web application, open a new tab. Okay, so here just to copy this one, so it's very important point. Then here authorize JavaScript origin, put over here. Okay, let me check quickly for click add URI. Add URI. Okay, let me delete this one. Add URI. Add URI. It's not taking. Why? Let me check. The origin URI that was created by command, then for URI 1 paste that URI URI created echo command and URI is 1 paste the URI. Authorize the direct URI or authorize the JavaScript URI. redirect URI, JavaScript URI. Okay. Okay. Click add URI was created with echo command, then you for URI 1 paste the URI. Authorize URI, click URI. So created echo command, then URI 1 URI. Click create and okay. Let me copy the client ID auth client ID which is created. Then what we'll do here, now what we'll do, deploy the sample application. So to install the Python requirement for the chat application, the VM SSH will SSH in Cloud Shell, then run the following command. So I have already login into that VM. So let me open the console application URL. Yes, now this is the one which we are looking for. So now we are in already close to the solution. So what we'll do, I will put some prompt. What is the next flight to Dallas? I hope we'll get the response. Yeah. So now the next prompt, let me put you which restaurant are near the departure gate. This will also work. Okay, so let me put the please book that flight. Yes, that was the expectation. So now which flight I have booked? Let me ask. What we did here, just build an LLM and RAG based chat application with AlloyDB and Vertex AI. What all steps we follow here? First, we initialize the database environment. Second, we create the vector database. Third step, we'll install the Python. And then fourth step, populate the example of database. And then fifth step, we'll create a service account for the retrieval service. And sixth step, we'll deploy the retrieval service to Cloud Run. And seventh step, we'll register the auth consent screen. Eighth step, we'll create a client ID for the application and deploy the sample application into Cloud Run. And lastly, log in to the application and we'll check the chart application whether it is working or not. This is the architecture, right? So based on this architecture, and thank you for watching my YouTube channel, and don't forget to like and subscribe my YouTube channel to get more technical video. Thank you.